Hello. This video is going to be several things. One of which is a review or an update of how my bag was doing that I ordered a while ago and showed off. I'm also popping Chopper in here just as a warning that I may get interrupted to do Chopper Dad activities and maybe even catch a visit from one of his friends, which will end up being kind of a clipped out. You'll see it in this video, but I'll clip it out and share it on the update section as well for the, how's the Chopper experience happening playlist that we have going currently. So my bag, squishing it, you can only really see the front of it, super close up. But as an update here, I can see it's doing all right. It is very full, so it carries quite a bit of things. And as an example of what it can carry is a whole bunch of other Pokemon items, obviously. So this was the hat that I showed off last time that we did our little, Pokemon Center loot grab. And I was very adamant about how I thought that this was the best choice of all of your perch on your head Pokemon choices that were out there. Though that was just from my, self-centered assumptions that my first choice was the best choice. And if I was going to be accurate in this assessment, that I needed to get the competition and show those off. So we have Charmander, and I'm already not that excited because he is so flat. There's no body to it. Bulbasaur is a plump boy. There's a little thickness to Bulbasaur, and Charmander's been rolled up, and Squirtle is in as bad or worse shape somehow, despite the fact that Squirtle inherently has a shell, which is supposed to, if it was a real shell, obviously, it would be very hard and would take up more space or force more space to be taken up compared to a squishy, soft-backed vertebrate with no shell back, right? I don't even know what this is. It's Bidoof, but how did they make it so Bidoof is just rolled up into a squishy little... Anyhow. And all the way in. You can't see me reaching this far, but there's my elbow. I'm going all the way into this bag so I can get this out. And the last one is a Gengar, which again is super flat. I'm not convinced that any of these are going to be better than Bulbasaur. However, in a little bit here, we will have to do that. Check with empirical activities to find out how different they look and if I am right in my assumptions earlier, or my assessments, I should say, that Bulbasaur was by far the best girl of the choices. And we're just going to harass Chopper because he's here. No, he's still full. So in a little bit here, after I, finish kind of talking about how this bag is still doing pretty well. I do enjoy using it still. It's been 2-3 weeks now. My only real problem that I've had with it so far is that their design choice for this strap was not particularly well thought out. Only for the fact that I have a use case scenario where the hooks I use at a workplace I'm at are kind of wide and not rounded, we'll call them, for the sides of them, so there's, I guess, easy chances for abrasion on this strap that you're using to hang this up. But yeah, that's little update thoughts on this bag that I bought, and advocated for how excited I was for owning it. And oh, there's one more thing in here if I can find it. Where did it go? That is a problem, because I bought these items during the holidays. Oh, there it is. So Pokemon Center had a deal where any purchase you made from their website was going to get you this ornament for your tree, and I haven't opened it yet to check the quality. But in the past, like as we talked about it before, the Bulbasaur hat looks way goofier on the website than in person. And to be honest, it's the case with all of them. Like they're kind of derpy looking if you look at them on their website. They did not do a very good job with that. So we're gonna do a shortcut here because I need to rearrange my camera. Okay, so we're back, and I've rearranged everything so you can, see me and see how things are gonna sit on my head. My head is not small or medium size. I have trouble with hats sometimes, so even the original that I was approving of and liked is sort of a tight fit for my head. But you can still see that he does look entertaining on your hanging out with you if you decide to use it in a daily basis. If nothing else, you can just use it on a chilly day to keep your head warm inside your house if you're not the kind of person that likes to wander around with your best friend hanging out on your head. But I will say that it is a comfy experience on your head from the perspective of someone who shaves their head regularly. And here is Bulbasaur. Now, I'm going to save this, the Doof, and this Gengar for last, in part because they are, I feel like they're designed differently in such a way that it would be sort of unfair for me to be judging them immediately after putting on Bulbasaur that I have already kind of announced is my favorite, and am already kind of prejudiced to the idea that these other hats are going to look any better. This actually feels smaller. Squirtle does seem like it's a smaller size, despite them claiming it's the same. Though it might have something to do with the edging or rim, we'll call it, to the shell that Squirtle has here, because it does provide kind of a finite constraint to the stretching that you can get out of this hat. The one positive thing I want to say though is that if you were to check the website on Pokemon Center, I do not believe that any of their stock footage, we'll call it, that's the official imagery used to sell the product, does a good job of showing the product off. I know for sure that the Squirtle and the Charmander, I believe, both of those somehow have like don't know, it's like when I look at it on their website, there's something not right about it. Like there's that uncanny valley, like maybe it's a knockoff feel when you look at it. It's strange. Anyhow, it's part of the other reason why I kind of forced myself to purchase the other models that I was not actually that interested in, because of the fact that something didn't seem right about the way that they showed the imagery on their website compared to what the product was. And that, in part, I'm going to blame it all on the Squirtle, because I bought that, not the Squirtle, yeah. I'm going to blame it on the Squirtle and the Charmander just being somehow something not being right about him. The Bulbasaur, like when I bought this one, I was very surprised at how different it felt compared to what I got. So it made me feel like I needed to do a proper comparison. So if I shade talk them in the future, I'm not just saying it because I'm grossly prejudiced towards Bulbasaur, but because I've experienced all three of them and, you know, had the evidence to prove that I'm, you know, not full of it. Like Squirtle, I think the legs are longer, or at least they're positioned in a way so like they're in my field of vision, more so than the other two. I don't know what difference that makes in the way that they in the way you experience these things, but I also did this weird thing with the back where he's got those pads. The other two don't have that kind of a, like, sorry about that, I'm splaying you like that, but yeah, there's no back pads on either of these, right? But there is a interesting, they make me feel like pull tab. They feel a little bit like a pull tab. So every time I felt back there, I felt like I needed to pull back on it, you know, and pull harder back here for whatever reason to like readjust it or whatever. But, you know, if you have that in the back, it's definitely gonna do something to you. Yeah, I've definitely changed my opinion about Charmander. I don't know if I'd call that a positive change or not, but you know, there he is. Yeah, he's definitely, I would say, cuter in person than from the website, and they do feel better, and I think it is a better experience than what my impressions were when I opened it up and saw how they were squished in there and weirdly shaped, since they don't have much plumpness to them. Like, you know, this is all, you know, a stuffed thing that hangs out on the top of your head from a good Bulbasaur anyways, you know. No, let's go on to our squished up Bidoof. I do believe this is for a smaller head. There's something about this where it's meant to be more like a, I don't know. The other ones, because they're longer maybe, they've got that, they covered up this section back here with Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander. But that is not the case with Bidoof, for whatever reason. And I'm recording this in a way that I don't have a monitor to look at myself to make the assessment of whether or not I think they look strange on another human's head. I shouldn't say another human's head because it's me, but if it looks strange on a human's head, I can just go by the assessment of how it feels when I put it on at the moment. feet. I'm not a big fan of these weird little felty niblets at the end that are felt-ish. I think they're going to be way too easy to wear off or get torn or something. This kind of material, as opposed to being, you know, full on, you know, another piece of plush cloth, or, you know, like this, where it's just sewing on the end of the main body part. Yeah, you know, you get a little plush claw there, which I think is going to be a longer lasting than whatever this is. Yeah, that's your Bidoof. Make of it as you will, but despite my impressions, again, the website does not do a very good job, I think, of showing off what these things are. I think it's way better than the imagery you get on the official website. And all these hats are like, I don't know, around $30-ish, you know, so they're not super expensive, you know. If you're somebody who's kind of wants a relatively warm hat for around the house when it's chilly in the winter or rainy season even, this is definitely kind of like a fun choice for you if you're not somebody who's willing to wear your friend outside on your adventures. Now, this Gengar, so I'm readjusting it, because if I'm gonna have a hat that has like no front to it at all, you know, this is a glorified beanie, as it were. I like to be able to have like somebody who has been in colder climates. You want to have it, you know, your beanie or whatever needs to get down to at least here, you know, like to cover your forehead. So you readjust it. And yeah, this is the Bidoof and Gengar. I feel like they're probably supposed to be the exact same size as these other ones. Probably supposed to be the same as this. However, the legs are shorter, I think, on both of these other ones. On these, if they're not shorter, there's just something about it that makes it feel like they're a smaller dimension. This probably has everything to do with the fact that, you know, there's no back to these, and especially with Gengar, he doesn't have any kind of inflation, we'll call it, in the front. No stuffing, no fluffy head. Even the Bidoof has this in the front, right? Where somehow our ghost type has almost no volume to it at all. It's just uh-oh. No. I thought we had ourselves a Chopper Dad moment, but nothing happened. Oh. There you have it. What do I think about these? Like I've said, as I'm talking through this, I think for anyone who likes a given Pokemon that is represented here, they will be happy with what they get if they buy one. Though personally, as someone who mostly played the Pokemon games in the early years where there was just the, you know, the starter 3 plus Pikachu. I mean, Gengar is from that time period too, but this is such a goofy hat. Like, I don't really feel like it does a good job of like showing off the what do you want to call it? Like this doesn't feel like Gengar to me for some reason. Where this is Bulbasaur. I don't have any questions about it, and I don't think that he's doing anything particularly different, you know, to like force his body into a different shape or whatever. Whereas with this Gengar, it feels like there's some kind of shape change happening or something, because there's some part that doesn't, because, you know, it feels like Gengar is being four-legged, and Gengar is a two-legged kind of, you know, thing. As you know, Charmander and Squirtle and Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur specifically was like almost always on 4 feet, you know, all 4 feet, almost never bipedal. So I think it also is kind of weird like that, where, you know, I think maybe my prejudice comes from the fact that, like, Bulbasaur being more of a default 4-legged animal, it feels less odd for this style of accompaniment, where it just kind of hangs out on your head like this. Whereas, you know, maybe I just have a predisposition to think that any of these Pokemon that would normally, you know, walk on 2 legs or can do both, it seems a little weirder for me. That's why I'm less interested in these other variants. But yeah, if you're a Charmander person, this Charmander is probably all the Charmander you'll ever want. You know, like, same thing with the Squirtle. But again, like, I just don't think these other Pokemon do as good a job at the thing that these hats are supposed to be conveying or doing for you. But yeah, there you have it. I'm still gonna, like I said, Squirtle's the best girl. Probably didn't have to buy all these, but I did. So there's an excuse to wear the hats again. Oh, and yeah, before I forget, let's crack this open and I'll dangle a shiny ornament at you that I don't know how it's going to turn out. This is an unintended bonus of my weird behavior. So, I don't know if you saw me opening this or not, but here it is. Came out of the package. They said it was going to be a brass ornament, and like the website made it look like it was going to be solid brass, but this is definitely not what they originally showed as the imagery. Like, general shape, circle, yes. Center Pikachu shape, yes, check. But the whole like see-through glass opacity and like kind of crisscrossing design thing, that was not part of like the original notification. It was more of a, looked like it was gonna be a solid, you know, solid metal with an imprint. I don't know how I feel about it. It's, you know, pretty nice, but because it's, again, that whole what they show you and what you get from the Pokemon Center website are, it's almost never the same at some level. Like there's some element that's not going to be the matching up. However, none of those things that are inaccurate ever seem to be a minus point, we'll call it. You know, like I said, this hat, I thought it was gonna be really derpy looking, but I needed to buy it anyways because it's a Bulbasaur that sits on your head. And I have been very pleased with how it was very different and wrong from what they showed on the website, but all in the best ways, to put it that way, you know. And same thing with these, to be honest, I thought these were going to be a train wreck based on the photos I saw on the internet, but they aren't. So, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to come to the store that's in Waikiki. We're open from Tuesdays to Sundays, 10 to 5. If you can't make it into the store, don't forget to check out our website where we have everyday updates on what's expected to come in and what we actually have in stock. You can also order online.